We'll see the green light coming on and the guys rolling out for their first of two formation laps, or a warm-up and formation lap. Connor Jupp leading them from pole position.
So we've got two race winners here on the front row of the grid from earlier today. Connor Jupp, this is going to be his third race of the day. And just to remind you what's been happening so far in seniors. The first senior race was won by James Singleton. The second one by Philip Moran, who is there on the front row of the grid. And then we have also had victory for Harry Webb. James Singleton is the one that's taken 2 wins. Charlie Eastwood just had a win as well. And Carl Fowley, who's on the second row of the grid, had a top 10 finish in his first race and then finished second, a strong second, in what was a fairly combative second race for a lot of these guys. With Connor, it's not all of them because Group A were racing against Group E at the time, but Connor Jupp and Harry Webb having a feral ding-dong for for most of the race really, and then it almost came to blows on track at the on the last lap. Harry Webb got the better in the end. He led on to the last lap. Connor had a big go at him, briefly got the lead, but then he ended up losing out and actually finished 4th in the race, Connor Jupp. And the reports from down in the pit lane were that neither Connor nor Harry were particularly happy at the end of that race, Connor in particular. But we did admire the way, I mean, he did say in the commentary, because they were so far clear, had they just sat with each other on the last lap, they'd have finished first and second easy, because the next group of carts wasn't that close to them. But I do admire the way that Connor went for the win in a way, even though it's early on in the weekend, and he's just trying to show everybody that he means business. That is important from a mental point of view, not just for your own confidence, but to let the other drivers know you're here. You're not going to be a pushover. You're not going to back off every time they get alongside you. And so they know next time they come anywhere near trying to overtake you, they're going to have to give you a bit more respect. So a little bit of that going on, I think, in this first round. Drivers trying to establish themselves against some of the more regular European Challenge runners. So Moran on row 1 rather, on the outside of row 1, starts second. In kart 206 and 266 is Connor Jupp on the pole position, with Genk, who Ken was just talking about, and Fowley on the second row. Avo Talvar's gone quite well today. He's on the third row of the grid. Eva Benes has qualified well, but she's gone back a little bit in all of her races so far, the French racer in kart 240. So second race better than the first, but we're hoping to try and stay in the top 10, I would think, on this one, if she possibly can. You'll see them in a moment coming towards you. 2 teammates, these 2 Dan Holland Racing teammates. The red helmet is the orangey red helmet is the easier way to establish which is which, and that belongs to Connor Jupp. The bluer helmet belongs to Philip Moran. So, again, because the race numbers are pretty similar, with only 1 digit difference. So Connor Jupp will be on the right-hand side of the grid once they get to the start. On the left-hand side of your picture, because you're looking at them face on if you're watching online. There is the pink helmet on the inside nearest the grass. That's Connor Jupp. To the right on the front row, the bluer helmet, that is Philip Moran. Then Carl Fowley, 225, third on the grid, right behind Connor Jupp, and 4th on the grid, Jan Genk. And he's right behind Philip Moran. Right, it should be a 10-lap race. Red lights on. It looks nicely crowded together, and it's going to be a full start. Right at the last second there, start line official decided it wasn't close enough. Bit of bumping and balling going on further back, and a bit of
that's helping him get started. One of them had stalled.
Oh, okay, helping out. It was a thumbs up rather than a shake of the fist, then, wasn't it? So I'm not sure all the drivers realised they're going to go round again, because they're not exactly taking it easy. But now, going onto the back straight, they start to slow things down again. So full start. That the official was not happy. It was a bit disjointed, wasn't it? Not necessarily right at the front.
Okay, right up to the last seconds, wasn't it? And I think we're getting the message that there was some contact,
a bit of bumping and boring.
That
right.
was why.
There is a yellow line across the track. You probably won't see that from the TV pictures, but you might spot the cones on either side of it, right on the edge of the track. That's it's the acceleration line where they can begin really flooring it. They can't overtake until they get across the line. That's where they're allowed to begin building it up, and it was at that point where the formation just got a bit disjointed. So leading them back around again. To the left of your picture there, Connor Jupp, right behind Connor, also on the left-hand side as you look at it from the screen. is Carl Fowley and Eva Benes behind him. And on the other side, Moran, Jonk and Talvar, the top three on that side of the grid. This is Group A versus Group C. And these two Dan Holland racing drivers. And looking at them together there, Philip Moran is a lot taller, it seems, than Conor Jupp. He's got, he's quite a bit bigger. Stands up, sits up in the cart a lot more. Conor Jupp really with an ideal position, actually, nice and lowly slung in the seat. So aerodynamically, if you like, a bit better. There's a minimum weight that they all have to adhere to. So being a bit bigger, being a bit taller doesn't punish you. Here we go then. Let's try second time. Lucky. It's going to be a start this time. And Conor Jupp with a great start. And Kyle Fowley has tucked in behind him. From third to second he goes. So the Scottish driver up to second place. We've had a spinner from in amongst that lead group somewhere at turn one. And Kyle Fowley had to think about going up the inside there and getting the lead of the race. Moran is there in third position behind them. They go through towards turn 6 now into the right-hander. They will head, I think it's 226, is it? Jessica Batman that had the spin earlier on. Two still struggling to get over the start line. But up front here, Moran coming back at Carl Fowley. He dives down the inside here. Look at this. He's got the line. Through your camera shot he goes and back into second place. So Moran back up to second. This happened to him a bit in the the earlier race, actually. Moran didn't have the best of first laps, but he did fight back very quickly. And he went on, of course, to take a race win. And he's doing something very similar here. So they're coming out of turn 10 towards turn 11 now. Number 266, the race leader, is Conor Jupp. In second place, it's Moran to the top two back where they started. Then it is Carl Fowley in third place. Jan Jonk in fourth place. And the top six are together as they go over the line. And still in the top six, we've got Michael Coore. Been impressed with Michael today. Going very well. And Alvo Talvar is there as well, also in the top six, Ken.
Yeah, I'm afraid it wasn't good news for the girls, Chris, because both Eva Benes in cart 240 and Jessica Bachmann in cart 226 were, well, I won't say victims. They didn't see how it happened, but they were involved in that contact. And at the end of the opening lap, it's Jessica Bachmann who's running last and Eva Benes who's second last in front of her. But both the girls keep going, but sadly right at the back now.
Yeah, Eva's just not had very good first laps, second laps today. For whatever reason, not necessarily her own fault. And it's put her on the back foot once again here. Leaders come through. Half a second between the top three. Gap from first to second seems to be coming down. Looks like a good lap this from Moran. He's almost onto the tail of Conor Jupp now. Conor hears him coming, looks over his right shoulder. And you'll see them on screen in a second coming towards the first corner. But Conor Jupp holds on to the lead of the race. Moran just lining it up, and now tapping to the back of Conor Jupp, and he goes through at the hairpin. So Jupp back down to second place. Now he's fighting back up the inside. Absolutely will to will, and back into the lead of the race he goes. And Carl Fowley, he's trying to go around the outside and into second place, all the way around the outside of turn 6. But he's going to have to give up because Philip Moran has got the inside line for the next turn, and Jan Jonk is coming up the inside, but he can't quite find a way through either. So it's Jupp in the lead, Moran second, Carl Fowley third as it stands, and then Jan Jonk bringing the rest of the field up to the tail of them. And Conor Jupp there on the receiving end of a fairly hefty tap on the shoulder, I think, Ken.
Well, I was just going to say to those of you that have heard me talking over this series in the last 10 years, you'll know that I often remind us that karting is a non-contact sport, except for the occasional incidental contact. Well, we just saw some incidental contact for sure.
Tionan is at the back of this train in 6th place, and Nicholas is looking quite strong at the moment there. He's got himself into the top 6 now. He's in the 239 cart. He's on the tail of Alvo Talvar, and in front of both of them at the head of that trio, 4th, 5th and 6th, is Michael Coore, who's been strong in every race so far. I think Michael has just through the hairpin lost a place, so down to 5th place he's gone, and Talvar's got ahead of him now, if he can hold on to it at the next turn, which he does. So Talvar back up to 4th place. Coore is in 5th position. And then Tihonen running in 6th place through the left-hand hairpin.
Just pick up on what you've said, Chris. Michael Coore, to me, is showing me some of his best form that I've seen in the last 3, even 4 years from him.
Yeah, he's just looked at home, looked solid. And almost quietly going about his business here. You know, in and around the top 6 every time that we've seen him so far. A bit of action further back. That was Barthon going up the inside of Jonk, and Jan Jonk slipping back again. Yeah,
Jan Jonk, who's gone a little bit the same way as Eva Benes, just getting on the wrong end of all of the little bumps and perhaps not losing as much as Eva has done. But on that occasion, Jan Jonk definitely coming off second best there.
Moran going for the inside line on the way into turn 6, and he gets ahead of Conor Jupp, and they're side by side again on the back straight, and Conor Jupp has got the inside line coming towards you on camera. That's Jupp back ahead, so he lost the lead for a split second, but he's got it back again. That was Moran carrying a bit too much speed into the corner and then running a bit wide on the exit. It was a very last dash move from the Swede. He almost in the apex of the corner before he fired the move at the inside. And watching them very closely, Carl Fowley doing a great job once again. This would be his second top 3 finish if he can hang on to this of the day. Alvo Talvar having got back up to 4th place now, having got ahead of Tihonen, and Jan Jonk has dropped back to 10th, and Michael Kuhl has dropped back on this lap, down to 11th.
Fallen as well, hasn't he? We're at the half race distance, and Philip Marine taking the lead. Yes, Philip Marine finally eases past. Not sure if Chris saw. I know Jill did. She's called it to me. Philip Marine muscle his way past Chris, or was it a smoother move than that?
Connor a little bit wide out of turn 1, and it just gave half a gap to Philip, and he worked in nicely. No contact.
So, as I say, at the half race distance, Connor Jupp and Philip Marine dicing for the lead. Philip just getting the advantage as we go into the second half of the race. Kyle Fowley, the Scot, in 3rd place. Arvo Talvar, Estonia, 4th. Nikki Tihonen of Finland completed the top 5 at the half race distance. Jack Weprin was going well 6th. Chris Hartley called Antoine Barton through to 7th. Yuri Foreman 8th.
Yeah, and fastest lap of the race so far to Nicholas Tihonen, 55.530 seconds. Have been quicker than the race leaders, who are a bit holding each other up here. Change for 2nd place there. Connor Jupp loses out. Tries to fight back at the inside, but he cannot do so. So into 2nd place again goes Carl Fowley here. That was a lovely move late on the brakes. And he was threading it through the eye of a needle, but coming through the hairpin, you can just see on camera there. Connor Jupp gets him back into 2nd place. Connor's quick out of that corner. And it's setting him up well, but down the inside, coming into the next corner, Carl Fowley back through in the green and white cart there, back up into 2nd place, but now he runs wide through the next corner. He's on the inside line for the next turn. 2 wheels on the grass. 3 places lost. 2 places lost. Connor Jupp goes through. And Carl Fowley's going to end up down in 4th place, isn't he? Because Alvo Talvar also snuck past.
Yeah, we're back to that incidental contact issue. I tell you what, Chris, if you want to see some fireworks, all you need to do is light the touch paper that's called Connor Jupp.
Oh, he's lost another one now on the way into the last turn, has Carl Fowley, because 236 got through. That was Jack Weprin, and he is going well. He's up into 4th place now, and Tihonen, I think, has got through as well. So Carl Fowley, that's just really knocked his rhythm there, just that moment on the grass. Leading up to it, it was a fantastic move to get 2nd place in the 1st position. Speaking of 2nd, it's just changed again at the hairpin as Connor Jupp now falls back down to 3rd place. Alvo Talvar up into 2nd position now. He is going well today. And through he goes. He's made it stick. So Alvo Talvar in cart number 223, running very well, the Estonian, on the Tony kart. He is here with Talvar Racing and looking good in 2nd place. Connor Jupp bumped down to 3rd. Not a disaster, though, this, because Connor's had a win. He's had a 4th. This would be a 3rd. It's a good set of results. It's going to get him right up there if he can keep this sort of form going come the pre-finals tomorrow. He certainly looks like he's going to qualify, touch wood, easily enough. Still a long way to go yet, though. And 2 laps remaining in this race, Ken.
Yes, we're into the 4th quarter of the race. And Chris Hartley and myself did just volunteer that... hey, you're a racer, you want to put the marker down, you want to say I'm capable of beating you, but it's a long season. It's 4 races. It's a 22 race program today. It's 2 finals tomorrow. You just got to have a little bit of thought as to what happens after you've made what might be an injudicious move, and perhaps Connor just... And let me tell you, I'm so impressed with the lad. I really, really am. But maybe that's the one area where he's shown just a little bit of inexperience. But boy, when it comes to being willing to mix it, you can't say anything against him. Philip Marine not mixing it right now. He's just coming round to see that there's 1 lap to go. He dips his head, but there must be a full second there. 1.356 between Philip Marine and Connor Jupp. And Connor Jupp feeling a little bit of heat from Alvo Talvar. Kyle Fowley in 3rd place, well adrift, but he's got a lot of tarmac in front of him. Ought to be able to hold on to that 4th place, Chris. Might be a little bit of a disappointment for him, but 2nd and 3rd still up for grabs.
Yeah, big old queue forming up behind Kyle Fowley. There's, 10 carts breathing down his neck, and it's making him look over his shoulder. It's a different situation, this, though, isn't it, for Connor? Because in the last race, he was going on the attack on the final lap. This time, he's going to have to defend, isn't he? He can't win this one. He's too far back. So he's, yes, looking over his shoulder there as you see them 2nd and 3rd coming into that right-hand hairpin. But I think you might just have done it.
Just wonder if Arvo Talvar has decided that it's not point. Well, he's not in a position to make a challenge now, but I don't think he went 10/10 for it.
Checkered flag comes out then, and second win of the day for Philippe Morin. He's looking good here. The Swede takes the victory by 1.3 seconds. Connor Jupp, another good result for him though. There's all sorts of carnage behind. We had one on the grass there who's dropped right down the order. Was it Iri Foreman?
I think it was Jack Weprin, possibly.
Weprin.
Has Jack Weprin spilt all those places? Somebody has, because Nicky Tihonen has finished 5th, Antoine Barton 6th. Jan Jonk 7, Yuri Foreman 8th, Ludwig Morin 9 and Eugene Denason 10. In fact, I don't see Jack Weprin's name at all. I wonder if he's gone outside.
He went out earlier, didn't he? I think.
Well, he was running when you said that there was a train behind Kyle Fowley. Weprin was the one putting the pressure on our screens. It perhaps wasn't Jack. Maybe he went out earlier in the lap. But what a big disappointment.
Actually, it might have been Bergla 258 who went on the grass.
Dropped a lot down, hasn't he? 258 over there.
They were basically 3 abreast coming in that battle for 5th out of the last corner, and one of them was all the way on the grass and had to get right off the throttle to avoid running into A, the barriers, and B, the stricken cart that is down there on the start line, which went out some time ago, and that's the 245 cart that went out a while ago. That's Berat Turka, one of the Turkish drivers. So Moran, Jupp and Talvar were the top 3. Fowley did hold on to 4th place. Tihonen, good drive to 5th. Barthon was 6th in the end. Jonk was 7th. Might be a bit disappointed with that, but he was in the mix. Iri Foreman was 8th. And then the other Moran, number 255, coming home. Ludwig Moran coming home in 9th place. Denison, 10th. Then Remberg, Berglas, Smelt, 11th, 12th and 13th. Fulan, Kuhl, Pinto, Lupfer and Makino. Also on the front screen on the top 18. Of this race. Ava Bennett, again, unfortunately for her, falling back. A lot of those places lost at the start. Having started on the 3rd row, she ends up down in 20th. In fact, actually, for both Ava and Jessica Backman, from down to 33rd, which I think they then were, they did actually claw a little bit back, didn't they? And Sam Shippers did start the race, but he didn't go. I think he's clearly got some sort of issue, hasn't he, today with that cart, with power or something, because he's struggling a bit, and he was down in 26th place in that race. Piccioni, we know, didn't start.
Tony Patak just pushing in. He did complete the full 10 laps, but I think he had an issue as well.
Jack Weprin went out with a lap to go by the looks of it, didn't he?
Went out on the last lap in the top 5.
A real shame for him after a decent drive, but it was fraught in that battle for 5th. 10 of them all trying to be in 5th place, and Fowley maybe slightly disappointed to finish 4th when he was running 2nd at one point, but I thought he did a good job of fending them all off, to be honest. At the last couple of laps must have been a bit scary looking over the shoulder and seeing that many breathing down your neck.
Okay, Tiffany Chittenden's talking to the winner down there, Philippe Morin. Let's go down to the paddock. Tiffany was with Philippe.
Okay, so with Philip,